This week, the sun within us, consciousness, life, activates the 24th I Ching. The transformational path of this frequency moves us from the shadow of addiction to the highest vibration of silence, and it's through the path of invention. The 24th shadow of addiction has great weight inside us, and it affects every human being alive. Not one person escapes the shadow of addiction. There are many types and expressions of addictions. The ones most spoken of are drugs and alcohol, but addictive patterns can carry across into eating, gambling, working, and sex. It's not often that we look directly in the eye of our addiction patterns, and it's not often that we see where they spring from, but we're all addicted to something. Addiction is really just a misidentification. We identify with a form in the world. Because of our suffering inside, we feel it as grief, numbness, boredom, angst, frustration, loneliness, or any other deeply uncomfortable state. And we would like to avoid feeling that state. And so we find a pattern of behavior that temporarily suspends that discomfort. And then we begin to rely on that pattern. And when we begin to feel that pain or discomfort coming back, and it usually is unconscious, we drop right back into that pattern. And of course, it doesn't really take away the pain. It just delays it. It conceals it. It distracts us from facing it, and only for a while, as it will always haunt us. The dilemma of the 24th shadow of addiction is the dilemma of gravity. This may sound odd, but gravity is the weight of the world, the weight of being in a human body. There are two forces in life. There's gravity, which holds us down, and the force of levity, which lifts us up. And we're caught in the middle of this dance between these two forces. Gravitational patterns trap us. They cause us to breathe less deeply. They cause us to contract. Our mind gets fixated and depressed, and our system becomes rigid and overstressed. They make us feel bad about ourselves because deep down we know we're avoiding something, and they create more heaviness. Levitational patterns, they lift us. They elevate us. They clarify our thinking. They give us hope. Levity gives us the sense of freedom, vitality of life. Levity lifts us beyond what we could see, opening the heart and spirit to a greater vision of what's possible in life. So these patterns give us a sense of purpose. And life is played out in the field of these two patterns. One pulls us down and the other pulls us up. It's like a Shakespeare's play observing life, as we soar high one moment only to plummet down the next. And we all know the huge effort it takes to pull ourselves back up once we have fallen. And there's so many stories we tell ourselves when we succumb to the forces of gravity and fall victim to an addictive pattern. You know, we lie to ourselves in so many ways. And of course, we carry the guilt, the shame, the regret, the rage, all the feelings that come along for the ride. It really is something being human. But the secret to working with this shadow and being human is to be honest with ourselves. In the well-known 12-step program, this is always the first step, admitting the position that you're in. And interestingly, step 2 is about invoking a higher power to bring assistance. So most importantly first, really witness the deep nature of the addictive tendencies, the addictive patterns in life. Look into your everyday patterns. Put on a pair of glasses that only see addictive patterns and train them on yourself, and you will soon find the addictive patterns. What do you do that prevents you from enjoying pauses? What do you do that causes you to miss out on the finer things in life? And when you witness it, when you cave into it, the gravity, then step 2, go to the city, the highest vibration. The city reminds us of our higher purpose, the greater purpose. The city, the highest vibration, and it could be any of the 64 cities in the I Ching. The city is the levity, and the shadow is the gravity. And the beauty of the city is it's out of our hands. We can only call upon its power. We can only pray or meditate on it or dream about it. But that's enough. We have to remind ourselves of the other extreme and then put our trust in it, our faith in it. And then you watch, you wait, and you listen. This is contemplation. So you contemplate the gravity of the shadow, you contemplate the beauty and the freedom of the city, and then you let the gift come into play. And it will on its own. Let's go deeper to see how that works. The 24th gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration. Invention. Invention is creativity. The gift is always about creativity and love. It's your contemplation springing into action. It's surprising. It's exciting. It's the only thing that has enough oomph in it to pull you out of the gravity and draw you into the light. This trinity, the shadow, the gift, the city, requires a leap of faith, a trust that there's more. Deep down, you know it is truth. So it requires a leap of faith, a trust, and a reaching out. And then the greater being on the other end of the tunnel reaches out back, and you pass through the tunnel into the beyond, into the light. It's interesting if we consider the 12-step program of the AA, because the program does exactly this, what I'm describing. So it's a universal process of transformation. And that's why these are called the 64 transformational ways, paths. And that's what the I Chings are. It's called the Book of Changes. And of course, each of the 64 I Chings has a different angle, a different language, but essentially they're all the same way, the same path. Here in the 24th I Ching, we have to consider the nature of the 24th I Ching. Its original name, the turning point, the return, the translation from the I Ching in Chinese. It's about going back into the roots in order to change the pattern. We return back to the essential. We examine where we come from and where we have arrived. And this gift can be a huge turning point for you if you allow it to be. There's a well-known Chinese proverb, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. So once we have done our shadow examination, we have identified an addictive pattern in our nature, something that drags us down rather than lift us up. Now I invite you to sow a thought. Think about this pattern and how you may reinvent it. This is the gift of invention. Let something completely new bubble up from within you. What else might you create with this energy? How can you use it to lift you up? Don't rush for an answer. Let it come to you from the city, from the silence. Give it time to come to you. This is the art of contemplation. The soil of contemplation is time and space. Invention isn't something that you do. It's something that happens through us. It comes from the unknown. And when that insight comes through, let it move into action. Let that action be something new, something fresh, something that you haven't done before in that stuck, frustrated state. If that action comes from the city, from the silence, then it has deep roots. And the next time you are faced with the moment of challenge, the action will happen again, and it will reap a habit. And this new habit will lift you rather than sink you. And now you're transforming the addictive pattern from gravity to levity. And in time, the habit will become a part of who you are, your human experience. In fact, it won't be so much a habit, but a custom. Habits are enforced. Customs are followed, more gentle, more graceful. This healthy and beautiful custom will be a part of your character. And of course, the finale, a custom rooted in deep selfless love and surrender, rooted in grace. It reaps a new destiny. And that's how invention works. This is what invention means. This is not inventiveness. Inventiveness is a skill. Invention is a mystery. It comes from the city, the highest vibration, and it reshapes the life from the inside out. But first, we must be listening in the silence. We must be willing to see the shadow simply for what it is, not something to be avoided, but as a compost, as a rich soil for higher destiny, a higher purpose, your higher purpose. The 24th city, the highest vibration, silence. So what is silence? And how on earth can I speak about silence? Well, what I know about silence. I know it's a treasure beyond all others. For me, it's the only truth. It's grace. It's divine. It's home. It's filled with life, not empty as the mind would like to imagine. The silence of space is alive with light, with frequency, with vibrations of love and the magical. The original name of this I Ching is translated as the returning. We have to keep returning back into form until we have polished our spirit to such a degree that it shines with light. When we graduate from this earth plane with its field of gravity and levity, our evolution continues in another form, a form that knows the timeless truth, the silence. I empower you this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations fully that come up in the body. Shine the light of awareness to any addictive tendencies that feel heavy. Feel the sensations deeply. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember, love yourself and choose to be blessed.